Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. Today I'm playing Herocade, which is a 9-game collection on the PlayStation VR. I'm not going to play through all 9 games, I'm just going to play through a couple of ones that I really like. I'm going to tell you which ones to avoid if you purchase this collection. Unfortunately, there are a couple that are complete misses. There are a couple that I feel are hits, and there are some that, at least in my early playtesting, haven't worked at all. So we're going to start out, first of all, this is kind of the menu selection room. You turn the right stick to kind of turn around your character, and you can see there's kind of like a giant whale that materializes. It's not as impressive as the whale from the blue, but it's pretty cool for, you know, just a menu scene. There are 9 experiences. Space Bit Attack, 405 Road Rage, Dread Halls, which is a classic title. It's been around since the Oculus DK1. Then over here you've got Jurassic Survival, Sisters, Alpha Turkey Hunt, Gumi no Yumi, and then Polyrunner, Z-Strike. And in the storyline of this particular game, you also have the ability to, apparently if you score well in all of these games, unlock something in the menu here. I'm not sure what that thing is, but something. I just want to make sure everything's recording okay as we jump into our first title, and we're going to start off with Polyrunner. And this is the one that I've played in the past, but really enjoyed on PlayStation VR. I'm not sure what makes it better on PlayStation VR, per se, but I'm going to try to get 15,000 meters in one game. That will unlock the prize for this particular game. And on this one, there's all different mechanics for steering. You can steer using the DS4 controller, you can steer tilting the DS4 controller, or you can steer by looking with your head. I've gotten really comfortable with kind of the gaze-based looking to turn the ship, so we're going to try that first and see if we can hit 15,000. If we can't, then we will switch to one of the other control schemes. But let's aim for 15,000, which is a little bit beyond a volcano, if I remember correctly from playing earlier. I hit the volcano and I was like, wow, it's a volcano, and crashed. So the blue ones are for points, the green ones speed up the craft a bit, and then there's red ones later on that actually slow down the craft. Oh, there we go. So first crash. Not the greatest start, but let's go ahead and start again. We'll do another gaze-based before we move into one of the other control schemes. So Polyrunner's been around for a while. It was one of the first games I got on Google Cardboard, actually, so probably a couple of years. And it's also available on the Vive, the Oculus Rift, on Steam, and I believe on Oculus Home. And now, as part of Herocade, is also available on PlayStation VR. The cool thing about Herocade is it starts out saying that these are kind of nostalgia titles, gives you a little bit of a look at the history of virtual reality before the PlayStation VR came out, and that's truly what it does. It is 9 experiences that you can probably play elsewhere. I'd never heard of a couple of them. I'd never heard of Alpha Turkey Hunt or Jurassic Survival. I'd also never played Z-Strike, which is the one that I'll probably play right after this. Z-Strike is, well, I'll describe it when I get to it. It's a pretty unique title, though. Oh, got to the red zone and crashed. So let's go ahead and exit out. Let's try the controller this time. So you can see now I can just steer using the left stick of the controller. Not, to me, as immersive as the gaze-based turning, but still fun. And you still got the direction of the motion of the direction of the mountains flying in front of you, which is fun. But it just feels almost like half the game, strangely enough. So again, I'm not going to play all 9 of these experiences because that would take a couple of hours, and I like to keep my videos at around 15 minutes each. So we'll play through a few highlights. I'll tell you the ones that I dislike, and I'm not going to show you how brutally bad they are. But trust me, the ones that I'm not a fan of really need work at this point before I would... Ouch. Hit the red zone again. It's a little bit harder to see. But even though it's just low poly, almost fields is what I describe them as. Canyons, I guess, is a better description. It can be pretty immersive depending on which control scheme. Again, I feel like the best control scheme, at least for me, is the head tilt. So we're going to go a little bit here, that green zone. Again, the goal we're trying to hit is 15,000. If we don't hit it, that's okay. Always good to have something to look forward to. Boom. And crashed. So I'm just going to show you very quickly tilt before we move on. So this is the other control scheme. This is your tilting your heads to play. So it's not looking to steer, but tilting to steer. And it kind of reminds me a bit of Eagle Flight. Eagle Flight is tilt your head to steer, but Eagle Flight's a little bit more fluid control for tilting to steer. This would be good practice, though, if you haven't got Eagle Flight yet, and you pick up Herocade. Playing tilt to steer on Polyrunner will give you that, a very similar effect. Not exactly the same, but a very similar effect. And we crashed. So that's a quick look at Polyrunner. We're going to exit out, hit back. What's good about these games is when you exit out and you go back, it takes you right back to that menu, takes you right back to the experiences for other games. I just want to check to make sure, yeah, everything seems fine on the screen in front of me. Another thing I've seen with this particular game is it kind of freezes the television screen. And I can't see that with the headset on, so I just want to keep checking to make sure that it doesn't freeze up. I don't know if that's the way that I'm capturing the program, or if it's another issue with the gameplay itself. But now we're going to move on from Polyrunner to Z-Strike. Now, I really like this one. It's kind of long to play through, so I'm not going to play for very long, but I'm going to at least show you a little bit of the gameplay for this one, somewhat similar to how I just played through Polyrunner. This one, they want you to kill 25,000 points worth of zombies. Right now I've only got 5,970. I'm pretty sure it's going to take me a while to get to 25,000. But this one's pretty cool. I expected when you see Z-Strike, oh, it's a zombie shooter. Well, it is, but it's a bit different type of zombie shooter. You're flying in a drone above some mountains and trying to save the regular humans from a zombie attack. Make sure that they can get to a compound. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to level select. We're going to go to survivor. We're going to start from the desert area, and we'll go from there. So I had never played this game prior, and it's pretty cool. So you can see there's kind of a top-down view, and then what you're trying to do is aim to shoot and kill these zombies using projectiles. So you can go out and in. I just want to check on my humans. So there's a couple humans over here. Probably want to try to take out these zombies before they get there. Alright, those guys are gone. Let's see if we can kill this guy. And there's another one dead. Let's see what happens over here. Alright, so there's another one gone. And there's an awful lot of zombies to kill. This one kind of reminds me a bit of a game called Silent Scope that I used to play in the arcade a long time ago, probably in the late 80s. But it works pretty well on PSVR. I, again, don't know as far as the availability on other platforms, which for most of the other games I could tell you, yeah, that was on the Rift, yeah, that was on Gear VR, and so forth. I've never seen this one. I can't say I ever looked for it prior, but this was one of the few new titles, at least new to me, that I played here on Herocade. So it looks like over here this zombie wants to die. Might be too late. Might kill the human. Yeah, he did. That's a shame. At least I didn't kill the human this time. It gets very upset if you shoot a human. It's kind of funny. This guy is practically invincible here. So we'll kill a couple more over here. We don't need to because those humans are going to get through safely. And then it'll take us now to wave 2. The zombies all disappear once all the humans hit the bunker. So then you refuel, you repeat for wave 2. We'll probably do 1 or 2 more waves before we move on to the next game. They do get progressively, the zombies get a little bit harder to kill, some of them. And they move a little bit faster over time as well. But that's essentially how this game works. Again, this one is DS4 pretty exclusively. I don't see how a move controller would work for this one. Kill these guys. I know that the other guys over there are probably going to kill my humans. That's kind of the point at this point. So it can be quite challenging. Those guys just killed one of my humans. You have to kind of strategize which ones you attack at which time. humans have a couple zombies in between them. I think I just killed a human. I think you just heard that. Oh well. Yeah, this one was a very interesting title. It makes me want games like Silent Scope or something similar to show up on any of the VR headsets, actually. So, I'm not sure how. Maybe I can just wait it out for the next round and they'll kill my other humans. I don't seem to have a button that I can use to just go back to the menu. Let's see if... No, that doesn't. So these guys are going to make it to the bunker safely. And as we move into the next round, I'm hoping to... Maybe I'll just kill all the humans as they're headed to the bunker. That'll work. So that we can move on to the next game. The zombies, after a while, there are progressively larger and faster zombies also. These zombies are all pretty much the same for right now. But let's do some human hunting. See what happens. I see you, humans.
Check your fire, goddammit! Check your fire!
So what happens when these drones go rogue?
Check your fire, goddammit! Check your fire!
There's another one. Let's kill them. Yeah, definitely a fun game.
Check your fire, goddammit! Check your fire!
Time. And hit that game over screen pretty quickly.
Check your fire, those are our people down there. Check your fire, goddammit, check your fire.
Two more over here. I bet you wish you hadn't survived when there's a drone attacking you.
Check your fire, those are our people down there.
You're so fast, and yet the zombies just can't catch you.
Check
That's
your fire,
a shame.
goddammit, check your fire.
So we ended up with 1,935 on that one. We're going to go back out to the main menu. And that's essentially how Z-Strike works. Obviously, you don't want to kill all the orange humans in the game. Let's see here, just making sure. Yeah, so everything seems to be working fine. We're going to go back out to the menu. We're just going to do a couple more quick titles. I'm going to show you Gumi no Yumi next, which is kind of a puzzler. And I thought it was pretty cool. I have this also on Gear VR, and it was fun on the Gear VR. I think, again, similar to Polyrunner, I prefer it on the PlayStation VR. And it says we need to collect 12 stars to unlock the game for Herocade. I'm not super concerned with unlocking stars. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick rundown of how this one works before we move on to the next title. And again, I just want to double check and make sure, yeah, everything's working fine. So this one, you're just helping these little foxes to collect these gummies and put them in the right spots on the game board. Start with level 1. I think we'll do 3 levels just so you can get a feel for it. Pretty straightforward on this one. I'll move that through a little bit further than it needs to. Move it over one. Move that straight through. And move that straight through. 3 stars, no coins earned because we already earned them for that level when I previously played. So this one's a little bit trickier. One of the things you can do is rotate. So now that I've rotated, you can see this guy. Move right here. And then move this guy right there. And there. And then we'll do one more level. And this one's got 4. Go with the red one first. A little bit too far by one move, but that's okay. I think we'll manage still. And if you look down, you can see I have 182 moves remaining. Each time I move the controller, it counts down by 1. And that's that. So that's just a quick look at Gumi no Yumi. We're going to exit out now. We don't have enough stars for this one. Now I'm just looking to see, how do we exit out Gumi no Yumi? There it is. There's the back button. Hopefully this will take us back out. Alright, everything's still playing fine. So we've got sisters over there. It's a very short experience. I don't want to spoil it, but it is literally just an experience. So we're going to skip that one. I'm going to try Dread Halls. This is one that in playtesting I wasn't able to actually get into. And this is another horror title. This is more of a full-fledged title, though. The expectation is that you get scared, run away, and don't play anymore. It wants you to find 4 eyes. Let's see what happens as I try to launch the title. Again, this one, I can get to the title screen, but as I was trying to play it the other day on my press review copy, it did not load the full game. It may have been because I was actually trying to play with both the Move controllers and the DS4, switching between games, and maybe it was just too many controllers and it overloaded. We'll find out in just a moment. But let me just make sure. Yeah, you can still see. Perfect. So, going to new game, and I get nothing when I click on new game. So that's unfortunate. I would love to play through Dread Halls as an experience, but for some reason it while it's on the bundle, it doesn't let me actually go in and play, which is sad. Dread Halls is one of the things that I look forward to because, again, it's been around forever. It's one I've played the demo of on Gear VR, but I've never actually played through the full experience. So I was looking forward to it here on Herocade, and unfortunately it doesn't work. So that's one of the definite misses, unfortunately. I'd say Polyrunner, Gumi no Yumi, and Z-Strike are all hits. Space Bit Attack is very similar to Space Invaders. It's pretty fun. It's also available on numerous other platforms. 405 Road Rage is another endless runner similar to Polyrunner, but you're on the 405, and I live in California, so seeing Hollywood, seeing everything around me, it's kind of fun. It's a cartoony, again, kind of a low poly game. Dread Halls, again, I'd love to play if possible, but I could not. Sisters might be 5 minutes long. It's not the greatest title on earth. If you get scared easily, it is kind of a creepy title. And then Alpha Turkey Hunt and Jurassic Survival. Both of these are shooters. They can use either one move controller or the DualShock controller. I'm going to go into Alpha Turkey Hunt just very briefly so you can see not the most pleasant experience on earth. These two are the ones that I would say absolutely are not worth jumping into this experience for. Both of them are pretty much unplayable, unfortunately. I tried them with the Move controllers last night, tried with the DS4 tonight. Because the PlayStation VR is not a 360 experience, there's a flip button, which is kind of cool, but it flips you 180 degrees, which is not super pleasant. And the games just don't work. In this case, you tilt your head to move the gun. If I go shoot over here, you can see I can shoot turkeys. Wow. But in the game, the turkeys move extremely quickly. And I think I just hit the back button, which is totally fine by me if I did. No, I didn't. Let's go ahead and hit start. And you'll see turkeys coming from all angles sooner rather than later. And just not fun. That turkey's still coming. Oh look, surprise, more turkeys. I don't know if that one got stuck or what over there. But yeah, just really poorly done. There's turkeys everywhere. This world's been overrun by poorly designed turkeys. Gobble gobble. And then if you switch, it flips you around. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Turkeys. So yeah, the turkey flip there, if you do that, it turns you around to a point where you're completely vulnerable and the turkeys just keep coming. Lots of turkeys from all angles. And I think they're gonna finally kill me. Yeah. So, kind of a poor game, honestly. Hopefully I hit the back in the hitbox and not the play again. We'll find out in a second. Yeah, I did. So, honestly, we only have a couple more experiences to go through. I'm going to jump through. Maybe I'll do Space Bit Attack just so that you can see it. It's kind of fun. It is literally Space Invaders, which is, you know, a very fun nostalgia trip. Jurassic Survival, imagine the turkeys, but instead of being turkeys, it's dinosaurs. Same kind of horrible sound effect. Instead of a gobble, you have the screech of a dinosaur. So Space Bit Attack, again, very similar to Space Invaders. I'm not going to play 405 Road Rage because it's very similar to Poly Runner. Not exactly the same. There's still a little bit of a difference in the gameplay mechanic, which is cool. But this one's definitely a bit more fun to play. Sure, we got. Still got a screen. That's the thing with this game, like I mentioned earlier, Herocade kind of freezes on the television. So it is Space, and you're trying to shoot and kill the invaders. We have barricades very similar to the ones in the original, was it 1979 classic? Now, obviously, they're not going to call this Space Invaders because I'm pretty sure Space Invaders has a copyright. So Space Bit Attack it is. But a pretty fun experience. Many waves, of course. You have to get through. The invaders get faster and faster, just like in the original arcade game, or first place I played it, I think, was on Atari 2600. This is a shield here. This will help protect me from the ammo that they're shooting out, like that laser right there. The shield only lasts for a very brief period of time, but, you know, that brief period of time might be all we need. And just like the old arcade game, this one has, I think, 3 lives. So yeah, 3 lives. Look over to see that information. You can also see how high you are, things of that nature. But the invaders get a little bit more challenging. You have to hit them more than once for some of them. And of course, as they get closer, the closer they get, the faster your civilization will go down. Always the conqueror, right? This one also kind of reminds me, there was a movie that came out a couple of years back called Pixels. Just because of the depth and the imaging of the space bits that are attacking. There's my first ship dying. I'm going to go ahead and let the other two die too as I go. But it has that kind of feel from the movie Pixels. Which, not a lot of people enjoyed that movie either, but it's kind of a fun time. Kind of a nostalgia trip, similar to Herocade. Wave 4. Again, they get a little bit more robust as they go. I'm going to let them shoot and hit me. Got one ship left of the SS Cygnus. See what happens. I'm going to die. So you guys can see. And that is game over. So, Herocade as a whole, it is a fun nostalgia trip. Is it worth your money at this time? Maybe. If you want to play a game like Space Bit Attack and relive your childhood from Space Invaders, if you want to play a couple of fun endless runners, the types of things that you could play on a cell phone or on a Google Cardboard, for example. It's a fun collection to pick up. It's got multiple games. But of those, there's really only a little over half that I'd say I'd pick up and play again normally. Gumi no Yumi is fun as a puzzler. There's tons of different puzzle levels there. It can be really fun, especially for people that like puzzle games. But it's a small puzzle game. It's not the most intricate of a puzzle game. Poly Runner, again, as an endless runner, pretty fun. I'll be playing a lot of that one. Z-Strike, pretty different for a VR title. It's got some really good aspects. It is, however, really repetitive. Space Bit Attack we already talked about. 405 Road Rage, very similar to Poly Runner. Dreadhall's not working, at least not for me. At least I can't figure out how to get it to run. Jurassic Survival, honestly, I'm never going to play again. It's that bad. Sisters, 5 minutes, you're done. You're never going back to it. Might be good to demo to other people, but not for me. And Alpha Turkey Hunt gets the award for worst game of the collection. So that's my review of Herocade VR. Hope you enjoyed the video. I would definitely say right now you probably want to pass on this one. If it goes on sale and it's super cheap, something to consider just to get some of the games. But you're not getting 9 quality titles in Herocade VR, unfortunately. You're getting 5 fun to play for a little while titles. And 4, I don't know, titles. I'll be back with more VR content. I just picked up an Oculus Rift and Touch. Pretty good deal. Paid half price for it, so I'll be adding that to the channel very soon. in addition to all of the other VR content that I have. Hope you enjoyed this video. Get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.